going to be creating something every day. I am going to live stream every day. You know, it's weird. It's weird being older and having like figured out so many different things for myself that like that I had to experience that like wasn't normal like at all, from like the level of eating to what my parents fed me to how like they nurtured me and like all these different things. And I mean this in the sense of like Supercell specifically. Like, it's weird being older because now I'm like, oh, I finally figured this out. Now what do I do from here? You know, it's like I needed this way back then because, you know, how do I use this to normalize life now? Yeah. So a part of me, I feel like I'm in a space right now where I am very much letting go of a lot, and I'm trying to figure out how to just like have fun with this, like I don't want to say like a normal person, but just how do I have fun with this? How do I just bring good energy to this? You know? I think it's crazy to me that like them it just sounds crazy when it's like, how does your doctor not say to you that, oh yeah, this is gonna cause these different type of pains that could hospitalize you, or you're gonna miss school, miss time with friends, you're gonna develop mentally, psychologically, emotionally, and physically slower than everyone. And yet they didn't think that this would have a giant impact on your life. Oh, not just that, but you'll be forced to take insane level drugs throughout your childhood, right? And I think it's because we didn't have anyone to really sit down and break that shit down in simple terms for people. But I'm like, people that have Supercell literally have spent, like, if you just want to break it down to a day, could you imagine being in a pain? Like, I don't even want to word it that way. I can't think of a pain that just regular normal bodies people have that's just like natural, that's that painful, right? The closest thing I could think of is probably like pulling like a hammy or something, right? And that doesn't even compare. And I bring that up just because niggas know. You ever seen somebody pull a hamstring and immediately start yelling, right? I don't know what breaking a bone feels like, so I can't tell you what, you know. The close I ever got to that was I got a hairline fracture on my thumb, and that shit hurt, but it was not comparable to it still was not comparable to Supercell. It still hurt a lot. I still ended up having to get a cast, but it wasn't even close. Like, this is fucking nuts. I'd take this any day over the week over fucking Supercell pain. Supercell pain is quite literally like insane, right? And I'm just like, I think it's just gone too far under the radar. Like, it's so swept under the rug that it's insane. I don't understand how it should be easy as fuck for anyone having Supercell to get disability, in my opinion, right? And I think this is like a weird, I don't know if the word's catch-22 kind of thing, but it is kind of like a catch-22, because a lot of us we don't realize how strong we are. This is the type of pain that makes people kill themselves. And when a lot of us are pushing through it because we feel like we have no other choice. So we're becoming very, very strong. But at the end of the day, a lot of us are just pushing through fucking pain. Like pushing through insane levels of pain. And it's like we're so used to that. Like it's like normal, right? It's like I don't watch the news because the news is like, it's negative programming. You get used to hearing that negativity so much that it becomes like, oh, it's normal now. No, it's not fucking normal, right? It's the same thing with Supercell. This shit is not normal. We're not supposed to be living like this in the slightest. I think a lot of us are doing it because it's like survival. You don't have no choice but to go out here and get bread and just push your pain like it doesn't exist. But I'm like, this isn't normal. You know what I'm saying? I feel like a lot of us should at least be getting disability. But if anyone knows who's applied for disability, like, you have to make them like believe that like you're in the hospital every other fucking week. If not, then it's like they're not gonna help you, right? I've gone to disability and I could tell you my intuition off rip was like, you're not gonna get this. I just want you to know. Your parents are pushing this, and fine, go along with it. I don't care, but you're not gonna get it. Just know that, right? So I knew from day one I wasn't gonna get it. Then when I went into the Supercell community, and not only that, before I went to the Supercell community, I did my own research on what kind of requirements you need, and it was like you need to be like full blown tier 3 Supercell, and even that it seemed like it was still hard to get. And I'm like, if that's still hard to get, I'm not getting shit, right? So I just was like, alright. And then the thing happened where it was like, oh yeah, I joined the Supercell community and I saw people saying like, that shit is difficult, bro, right? But what's happening is, and what I see is that you're having people that are pushing through pain like throughout childhood, 20s, 30s, but that shit really gets your ass when you start to get 40 and 50, because you're wearing the fucking body down, bro. The body's been overworking for years. You're wearing the fucking body down, and you're getting to a point where you cannot handle that shit anymore. That's why when I was looking at people who were older, their stories, yeah, they were like, they were in pain all the time and da. Nigga, you were already in fucking pain, bro. That's what the drugs do. The drugs make it seem like you got better, and no, nigga, that's not at all what like they're doing. You just can't feel shit. It's still there. Just can't feel shit. It's like crackheads, nigga. They're so high they cannot feel how insane they are actually like being. I don't mean that to sound whatchamacallit, it's true. That's what's happening. Look up what the fucking drugs actually do. They quite literally fuck with your nerve receptors, which is your ability to feel. Right? And so I think it needs to be more people that have Supercell that come out with their stories and their understanding of this, right? Because I'm even starting to see now in the community more people are realizing like we develop way slower than everyone. Like I'm past my mid-20s, dog, and people be thinking I'm fucking 18. I was walking around in a museum, right, an art museum, and I forget how this guy started talking to me, because I avoid people. I'm not good with like socializing. And the guy was like, oh man, like you in college? I was like, what the fuck? Like that, I mean, it's beautiful, it's great, it's cool, but it's also like, you know, that developing slow shit. Like, and it's funny, it made me happy, and it's like happy and sad at the same time. Somebody was like, he realized like people younger than him were more mature than him, right? And that was something I realized, like, not to that degree, but it was like I realized that people were more mature than me. And I'm like, oh man, it took me a minute, but it's simple. Like, nigga, if I develop physically slower, like it's simple physical maturation, right? Think about it simply off of, if you physically matured at a certain age, you're already seeing the world differently than other people. You're experiencing it differently because you're fully developed. You're going to experience the world differently at 18 than you do at 12, than you do at 5, because it's about development and maturation. You literally experience the world differently, right? Like, there's so many levels of supercell you can go down to, and I feel like I want to become like an advocate for that shit. I ain't saying I got all the fucking answers, but I feel like this is shit that, like, I don't think was broken down well by any doctor to me ever. Right? I just don't. It never felt like it was broken down, and it never felt like my parents had the awareness to, like, all right, what are we going to do about this? How are we going to help him and make sure we have all this right? And, you know, a side note is my parents are those parents that, like, they think they know what's best and know everything, so they don't involve their child in, like, the plans of what we're going to do. They say we're going to do this, and you had to go along with it, whether they were right or wrong, which is obviously ignorant and the wrong thing to do, but it is what it is at this point, you know. But yeah, man, it's a lot of shit. Need more people coming forth with their stories. And I'll say this again, we need to be like these gay niggas. These gay niggas is like, you're gonna respect whatever this shit is that I believe in, right? And they're just out here fully badged out, like, this is what I'm rocking with, nigga. Like, hey, nigga, I'm out here. Right? That's how they are. Right? And I feel like that's how a lot of us need to start being, in the sense of, like, this is what I had to do. This is the reality, my nigga. You may not like it. It may be too much for you. It may take you way past your capacity to where you now feel like you emotionally in the middle of the ocean. But however, that doesn't change the reality that I've been forced to deal with without proper, adequate help. Right? So I think, I feel like that's important for a lot of us to come out and say. Right? Like, this shit is a lot. It's a lot. And I've said in another video why it's even a lot for me, because it's not just me having to deal with supercell, but it's me having to deal with these spiritual awakenings where I already don't operate in the world the same way as everyone else. The same way I said, my intuition off rip told me this was not gonna work. It told me straight off the back that shit was not gonna work. And it didn't work, right? So when I say sometimes I'm not good at socializing, at first this was just like supercell, my nervous system not being able to handle dealing with other people. Then I started to realize, like, I could feel other people's energy, and because I was so sensitive, I was absorbing the fuck out of everyone in the room, and it was like, it was literally causing me to, like, overload and malfunction, like, all the time. So I'm like, I cannot handle the job, bro. I'd be struggling to just go in Target and talk to the damn cashiers and fucking service people, right? And that's something that it doesn't just go away. It's not like, oh yeah, I just have to get used to it. Like, no, I have to cook all of my own meals. I have to do all these things. Even with me just doing Twitch now and doing, like, YouTube and working on my art, like, I literally realized I put taking care of myself to the side. Like, it's not really possible to handle all of this shit without assistance. It's not possible. And I think that's another aspect of supercell that people don't understand. There's so many needs that need to be fulfilled that this isn't a one-person job, right? Like, it's so often I'll be feeling like my family could help me in different ways, and it's they don't understand the severity of what I'm experiencing. I'm like, every day's going by, you could be helping me. You're not looking at the fact that life is still moving forward no matter what. And I need assistance just to live. I need so much assistance just to live like a regular person. So I think what needs to also be highlighted is the severity of how much it affects life and the severity of how many people around that don't get it. So while you're fucking struggling and shit, they're just fucking, oh, it is what it is. You know? And don't get me wrong, like, I'm still moving out of this complain sound and making excuses. I'm doing whatever the fuck I can. You know what I'm saying? Listen to my intuition as much as I can. My intuition won't be doing this. I woke up today and I was like, I kind of felt a little weird, and then I was like, maybe I need to fix this music thing that I was working on last night, and I got too tired and I was like, alright, I'm going to sleep. And it was like, no, like, my intuition wanted me to go stream on Twitch. And I'm like, bruh, I ain't think it was that serious. Like to that degree that I'm waking up feeling like this. This shit was like immediately get on it, nigga. So yeah, man. Yeah. Something I also wanted to talk about was how, I don't know if this is other supercell people, but I've struggled to process things, right? And it probably other supercell people too, because if your nervous system develops slow as shit and it was sensitive as shit, it would make sense. I struggle to like process things where in the moment I needed to do certain things, but I didn't understand it fully. Like I was way too overwhelmed. And then like weeks later, I'd be like, oh, that's what I was supposed to do, right? That shit makes life really fucking, like, damn. Like, you know what I'm saying? I'd just be like, what the fuck, right? I'd be like, damn, nigga. Like, it's so much shit that, like, I'd be wishing I understood in that fucking moment. And it just, it's hard to live life like that. Like, damn, nigga, what the fuck was I supposed to do? I couldn't process the shit. And there's been times where I couldn't process some shit, so I did whatever, right? Because that's, even regular bodies, like, they don't fully process everything. Sometimes they just do whatever. Doing whatever, I fucking would end up getting hurt. Or I'd end up putting myself in a situation that was so stressful that it was, like, fucking me up. So, it just is like, damn. You know? I think developing slowly made it so difficult for me to have friends. Everyone else was doing this and engaging in this and the other, and I was just like, you know what I'm saying? I felt like I was on my own. Nigga, my parents didn't pay attention to me and my sister as kids. As kids, we basically was doing whatever the fuck we did. Now, at first, you know, you think, all right, this is fun, this is awesome, till you realize, like, as a kid, you don't really know how to take care of yourself. And me being fucking retarded, I really didn't know how to take care of myself. I hated brushing my teeth. I hated showering. And this was also due to, like, think of somebody with autism who neurologically something is bothering them. They can't process it and something's bothering them. That was me as a child, looking back on it. I'm the only one who understands that. If I try to say it to my mom, she, oh, you know, you just were a kid. You know what this is? This is, I don't have the answer for it. I don't have the capacity. I don't really want to even think about it. So I'm just going to say you just were a kid. No, like I had actual neurological issues. Bro, I can tell you right now the depth of me, the problem is showering. My house was fucking cold, and the fact that I had to deal with like what's the word for it? It's like sensory issues, right? People with autism, neurological issues have sensory issues. So me going from being dry to wet, I didn't like that. Not only that, I could feel the coldness, right? You know when you're near water and air feels way colder, right? If you're at the beach, sometimes it feels warmer, but a lot of times when there's water, air feels colder. I would feel this in my bones, and I didn't like it because it would hurt. Because someone with supercell developing slower, they're way more sensitive. A lot of these areas are a lot weaker, right? Now, what's the next part? Taking a shower is like exercising. I'm already in an environment that's fucking me up. My energy's not that high. So it's like, you see what I'm saying? It's so many levels, and all we're talking about is a shower. All we're talking about is a shower, bro. Right? So it was a lot of different levels to that, and all of it is supercell affected. The muscular system, the respiratory system, the nervous system. All of these systems that allow you to function as a normal human being are being affected. These were my things. Not to mention, right? For me, my appetite didn't exist when I was a kid. It wasn't there. I literally didn't get the feeling of being hungry. I didn't have that as a child. And I realize now from my own studying that what was happening was I was in survival mode, right? I was going so long times without eating that I was in survival mode. So, my thing is just, I think this is the type of shit that needs to be, I don't want to say explained to doctors, because I'm not the biggest fan of like the medical system and the way it's designed. To me, it's insanely outdated. You know, hopefully with all this like awakening energy that's happening on the planet and whatever, it's like we get back to a time where we're like healing with nature And I don't mean just herbs. I mean like having actual like physical retreats where people who are, you know, today's age would be in the hospital, are going to these places that are in nature. It might be like, you know, and I don't want to say spas. I don't know what those are called, but like, you know, little spa things that you're, or at the ocean where you're not sitting in a freezing building filled with hundreds and thousands of other sick people, where the AC is fucking blasted, where you had a supercell attack, you staying overnight, and the doctors are coming in every 2 hours, where it's literally you need to be asleep so your body can heal and rest, and they're waking you up every 2 hours for some bullshit. Oh, we need to check your blood pressure. Man, shut the fuck up. Get this bullshit away from me. That shit ain't helping nobody, nigga. That shit is keeping you fucking sick, right? So that's the type of world, that's the type of vision that I see, right? And I'm like, because I understand the power of nature. I understand that healing. Bro, I'll tell you a story right now. When I was in high school, I was graduating high school, and you know, when prom comes around, everyone does like senior skip day or whatever. I don't remember if it was senior skip day or whatever. I don't know. But all I remember is after prom, all of us went to the beach, and you know, people don't know I have supercell. I don't really have friends like that. I'm just hanging around whoever, right? I didn't give a fuck. I was desperate as fuck for some friends because I was very outside of the normal and whatever, right? So I'm on the we're at the beach, and it's actually kind of cold. I get in the water, it's kind of cold. And mind you, this is something someone with supercell is not supposed to be doing. You're not supposed to be doing all this shit, especially swimming. Swimming is one of the most like, I would have some of my most attacks when it came to getting in water and swimming, because it made my body feel, it felt like I was using so much energy just to be there that it was ridiculous, right? But we're playing, like, I think we were playing in the water or some shit, we were standing in the water, and then people started splashing me, and my body immediately locked up, and I was like, fuck. And I went back to the sand, like, I made my way back to the sand, and I laid down. I laid down on the sand. I fell asleep, nigga. Mind you, I never fall asleep. I'm someone that I don't take naps. I struggle with naps. Like I don't know how to take naps. It doesn't feel natural to me, right? And like the times where I do accidentally take a nap, which is very, very rare, anytime I wake up, I feel so disoriented and groggy that I'm like, this is disgusting, right? So I fall asleep on the beach. My nigga, I fell asleep while having an attack. I woke up and the attack was gone. The entire crisis stopped. I was like, what the fuck? It was like the ocean took that shit away. So I woke up, it was gone, and I'm amazed because I've never experienced that in my life. There's one incident that I experienced that was similar to this or close, but it wasn't like this. And I'll actually go into it right after this, right? I woke up on the beach, same time, right? Like, I'm still talking about the same event, and then I'll go into that other event I was talking about. I was in amazement, dog. I was sitting there in disbelief, like, what the fuck? And I spent the rest of the weekend, like, fine, as if nothing ever happened. I couldn't believe that shit, nigga. You gotta think, I'm 18. I'm like, actually, no, I had just turned 18. My birthday was literally, I think, the day after prom. Now that I really think about it, my birthday was the day after prom. And I was just like, yo, like, what the fuck? But it always sat in my awareness. I couldn't believe that shit, right? So I was in nature, and it healed me. So the other event that I was talking about is my family. I think we went to the Bahamas. Was it the Bahamas? I think it was the Bahamas. Actually, these might be two separate. I think of two events that there's two other events from this event that are similar, where the same thing happened, but it wasn't the same. In the Bahamas, if you know, it's 1,000 degrees in the Bahamas. Amazing, right? But because it's so hot and it's a resort area where a lot of tourists come, they have the air conditioning in the hotel on maximum, so the hotel's freezing. So anyone at supercell knows you're not supposed to be going in and out of hot and extreme cold. You're not supposed to keep going back and forth. That shit caught me slipping, boy. What? Right? And so it fucked me up a little bit, and I was like, fuck. So I went in the sun, and I went in the beach, and I just remember being there, and I remember going back to my hotel, and I popped some Motrin, and I took a blazing hot ass shower. My dad told me to do that shit. And when I did that shit was hard, nigga. I'm not gonna hold you. That shit felt like being in the army boot camp or some shit. I did it, I pushed through, and then I went to sleep. I woke up the next day and my attack was gone. And I was like, what the fuck? I never had experienced that. Right? Some people say, like, get a heating pad. Heating pad has never, ever in my life worked for me. I always hated the heating pad, and I think that was a neurological shit. I didn't like the feeling of it, and I didn't like the heat. I just did not like that shit, and it didn't help me, right? I think the problem is people don't understand is that when you have back pain, because mine was back pain, it was the worst shit ever, bro. Back pain is the worst shit ever, bro. This shit is not about your back. Putting a heating pad on your back, in my experience, in my opinion, doesn't do shit, because what we're experiencing more than likely, right? Oh, they say, oh, it's supercell pain, supercell. I don't think it's necessarily supercell pain. I think supercell is causing sciatic pain, right? Because what's happening is our body doesn't have enough nutrients and oxygen to function. So, damn, I just ran the fuck over that bridge. And so what's happening is the body, let me pull back. When someone's dying, what happens is their body takes the nutrients from their leg and it gives it to the organs, because you need the organs to live. You don't need your legs to live. What's happening is the body is taking all the nutrients from the legs to supply to your organs so that they work. The brain, the heart, the everything up there, right? So what's happening is, because we don't have enough oxygen and nutrients, the body is taking all the ballet 7, best number ever, right? It's taking all of the, and that's the car right there that says ballet 7. I don't know why I need to point that out, but whatever. It's taking all the nutrients from the legs. And what's happening is your legs are now so weak that the muscles are insanely tight, which is causing pain in the nerves, and it's causing sciatic pain. That's what it comes from. It's not the back, it's the legs. I don't know why the legs do that shit, but you can look it up. Look up sciatic pain. They're just labeling it as supercell pain. I genuinely believe that it's sciatic pain. And what's happening is that the nutrients and oxygen from the legs are being taken to supply elsewhere. Right? If you are severely malnourished, and you can look this up because I did hella research. I started going on my own theories, figuring left and right out, because I was like, these doctors and shit are full of dog shit ass water, because I'm like, they're not consciously thinking. They're just, oh, I read this book that was supplied to me by whoever the fuck fucked over the earth and planet and is now in charge, making us learn a bunch of bullshit, right? So I genuinely believe it's truly sciatic pain. It's not anything else. If you give the body enough nutrients and oxygen, this goes away, right? If you take care of the body, and mind you, don't get me wrong, it's a lot of nutrients and oxygen you have to get the body to do this. How do I know? I've experienced it. But maintaining that is a lot, and it's a long story for me, and right? So, you can look this up. Look up someone being extremely malnourished, and can that cause sciatica? The answer is yes. What is a person with supercell? Someone who's extremely malnourished, because the body's not receiving enough oxygen to function like a normal person, which means off rip, you're malnourished, which is why a lot of us are skinny. And a big thing with supercell is dehydration. The body is quite literally sucking up nutrients and energy everywhere. The body's basically eating itself to survive. Do you know how insane that is? That's what's basically happening, right? And they're expecting us to go get jobs and be normal and And granted, I salute anyone that can do that. But just know that pain you're feeling, that's where it's coming from. That's what the fuck you're pushing through, right? And sometimes I hate wording this, because it's like, I would rather have the cure, right? I'd rather have the cure and then tell you what this is. But if enough of us come together and know what the fuck this is, we can put more brains to work and more minds to work to figure out some shit. I don't agree with gene therapy. Gene therapy, in my opinion, is insanely invasive, and it's the same shit as chemo. Nigga, I'm not rocking with that shit. I'm just not. And I'm pretty sure people have said it before. I don't think supercell and cancer compare as diseases, right? I'm not 100% on this. I didn't really study that shit. But somebody pointed out to me, and weirdly enough, it resonated, that supercell is a disease that grows with you. Like, it's a genetic thing that it actually grows with you, which is fucking crazy. But this goes back into me saying that I don't think supercell is what we think it is. I'm going to do a side quick note, and I'm going to just drop it here. If you ever look up Delbert Blair, he's like a very spiritual person. He passed away, but he has a lot of videos talking about DNA and shit. And he was saying how, like, they were saying there's junk DNA and that this DNA is this, that, and the other. He was like, no, it's bullshit. It's DNA that we're in a time that it's basically disactivated, right? But now the planet is going into an awakening where a lot of this DNA is starting to reactivate. In my opinion, that's what you see in Supercell, that show. That's the DNA reactivating. That's the DNA going into a point where something is changing. Something on the planet is changing. Just know the Earth has a consciousness. It's an alive entity. It has a consciousness, and it can talk to all of us. I have tapped in with that shit. But let me just not go too deep into that for niggas. Oh, this nigga loony bin. No, bitch, you're a loony bin. We're not even living naturally, nigga. Half the food you get isn't even right. We live in you know what? I ain't going down there. Right? So what was I saying? Back to Supercell. It's a lot of shit with Supercell that is like, they're not studying the depth. They're not showing us this true depth. Would that shit be overwhelming as fuck? Probably, yes. But does that change the motherfucking reality? No, we still had to deal with it. So it's gonna be overwhelming. Nigga, you don't think your first attack, you don't think any of your attacks were insanely overwhelming? You was probably the same as me, sitting there begging God for help, and that nigga was like, look at this nigga asking me for help like you ain't one of the strongest niggas on the planet, right? Like, was there an answer? No, nigga, the fuck? But we pushed through that shit. We made it through that shit, nigga. I'm like, that nigga need to switch lanes. You moving mighty fast. The fuck? Right? But, you know what I'm saying? This is what I mean by, like, it's a lot. But how we gonna change this shit if we don't talk about it? How are we gonna change anything if we don't all come together and talk about it? Now, I was in the community yesterday, and I seen people, like, making a post about this guy talking about dry fasting for 30 days. I have a split opinion on that, right? Because I know people is flaming him, saying that's hella dangerous and da-da-da-da-da. And I agree, that is dangerous as fuck. To eat nothing for 30 days could kill you. Easily, nigga. Easily. You ain't making 30 days without eating, dog. That's just not realistic. It's not. Not eating for 30 days. And I wish I didn't see this post. I just saw people talking about it. Did that person actually have Supercell and did that? If they did, I would want to talk to that person, right? And I think this is something that we need to change. Yeah, that person was saying that shit, and I'm glad everyone, I don't want to say I'm glad everyone shut it down, but I'm glad people put that, like, that's crazy level dangerous. That's crazy level dangerous. But at the same time, I would still want to talk to this person. What did you experience? What did you go through? Because this sounds like a person that was, if they had Supercell and they themselves did that, this sounds like somebody willing to do whatever to fix this shit. And I love that. I love that. So yes, I have mixed opinions on that shit. That's crazy as fuck. 30 days no eating is asking to kill yourself. I'm not going to hold you. Dry fast, 30 days, nigga, you're asking to die, right? And what is dry fast? Like, are you eating absolutely nothing while there's light outside, or are you talking about trying to eat nothing for 30 days? I have to do more research, but I would assume that would mean you don't eat nothing all day, and at night you eat, right? You eat at night when the sun is down. If that's what he's talking about, that's actually very doable. Still a lot. I'm not gonna hold you. I fasted before. It's a lot. That's a lot. That is a lot. That is a lot. Not gonna hold you the slightest. But, yeah. I think what happens also with Supercell, because I'm gonna comment on this too, a lot of us become very defensive when it comes to Supercell. If niggas is trying to find cures, like, we can't be sitting here just, oh, it's my pain and it's my pain. No, nigga, like, niggas is actually trying to do something. Whether that nigga is right or wrong, he trying to do something, or she trying to do something. You know what I'm saying? I feel like I see too much of that in the community. Niggas was talking about herbs, and niggas was talking about, you know, Dr. Sebi and healthy ways of doing shit. Nigga, why are we even, like, going, like, hyperly against it? But we going to the white man and all this bullshit when they just trying to give us drugs. Right? And I get it. Some of us need that shit. I get it. But I still think we should still be a little more open to other things and trying shit. Now, granted, I think there also, when people come and say, oh, absolutely do this, I think that's a problem, right? You need to have documents, like, you need to document your journey type shit, right? Document your journey. Do this and the other. You need to, like, go on YouTube and speak about it and be like, you know, I did this, that, and the other kind of thing. Mind you, we're going into a new age, so a lot of this stuff is going to keep coming out, and I'm all for it. But, yeah. Alright, I don't want to get too deep into that because it just don't resonate. So, yeah, my thing now is just, my thing now is just, I think it's a lot of us that need to come out and speak our stories, because I don't think the depth of Supercell is understood. Ooh, because if you understand the depth, I don't see how we can't get help. But we're never going to get help if we don't speak up. Closed mouths don't get fed kind of thing. We're not going to ever get help if we don't speak up. And I don't mean just be in the Reddit community. We need to actually go out into the world. Which for a lot of us probably is something we don't want to do. At least I didn't for a long time. But at this point, I'm like, I don't care. Right? Because I'm like, this is absolute shenanigans and nonsense. Right? So, and another thing, I also believe that Supercell being a dominantly black people disease, you're also seeing they ain't even really trying to help niggas. So we gotta make that shit be known in here, this, that, and the other. That's how I'm starting to feel about it. But, yeah. So, alright, I'm kind of ready to go home. I'm not gonna hold you. I'm like actually ready to go. Is that all I wanted to talk about? 'Cause I'm ready to go. Today feels weird. I don't know what it is, but I have a weird feeling about today. And I don't know how to feel about it. I ain't never seen today. So my thing is this like weird and like I need to figure out what this feeling is, kind of weird, like I need to look deeper into it, or is this weird as in like some weird shit going on? I should go home, stay my ass in the motherfucking house. No. Fuck is this? I don't know what I'm supposed certain energy that keeps popping up to me. And I'm like, I don't know, like, what am I supposed to do with this kind of thing? You know, like, what am I supposed to do with this? Why is this, like, presenting itself to me? And it's like being able to see. It's not even like it is. It's being able to see a blessing way before it manifests in your life. But then, like, you see it so much that you're like, okay, like, is this telling me to do something? Is this, like, you know what I'm saying? I'm like, I've been seeing this for quite some time now. Am I supposed to take some type of action? Like, what is this? You know? So, yeah. It's even, like, popping up right now. It's like, alright. Oh, I'm sitting here like, what the hell? And interesting. What the fuck is this truck doing? Okay. Alright, but I see what this is showing. Alright, so I gotta keep moving forward with what I'm doing with my art. Alright. So I kind of look at that as a sign then that I'm in the right place doing what I'm supposed to be doing. Alright. Seems kind of like it's time for me to step into the world kind of thing. But more than I've already been doing. That's the feeling. Okay. That is nice. That is Alright, that's it. Peace.